and I'm your hostess, Tina Tilton. Okay, so the Blend, I love to speak with and interview entertainers that have a presence, a big presence, known in this city, in our great city of Memphis, Tennessee. So on today's show, let's see, how should I say this? At first, this particular guest was going to owe me lunch. And then I was going to turn around and have to owe him lunch. Stuff was just getting all in the way. But hey, I can say this. Satan does not win. God wins all the time. So I'm going to bring him in the screen right now. Welcome, you guys, Mr. Kavaunjay. Hey, Kavaunjay.
What's going on? What it do, Miss Tina Tilton? Let me tell y'all something. Tina didn't know I was going to do this, but I'm going to tell you. Me and Tina go back. But if you haven't been interviewed on Tina's show, man, she got the interview going down. You see all the music. So shout out to Tina because she has been doing it for a long time. And it's an honor and a pleasure to be on here with her because from day one, Tina has always been about her business. She's always been a hustler and she's always had her hands in something positive. So shout out to Tina and thank you for having me.
Oh, Kavaunjay, true that. Oh my goodness. Y'all just make me I don't know. Okay, because the concept of this show is to give you guys flowers while you can still smell them. Not y'all give me the flowers. I'm trying to give y'all the flowers.
You get them too, though.
Man, hats off to you then. Or wigs. Wigs off to you. Okay, come on. Let's get into this thing because, like you said, we have been, man, we've been knowing each other for a very long time, and we both have had this radio journey, an extensive radio journey in our city. Right. But tell me about, or tell our viewers about your extensive radio journey.
Well, I actually got in radio in 2000, and really, in a way, I got in it by accident.
How's
because that? I was working at Coca-Cola, and I was filling drink machines. And what ended up happening, a gentleman named Dion had called in to work one day. And when he called in, you have to fill in. So they was like, Kavaunjay, you're going to fill in for Dion today. So I filled in for Dion, and it just so happened it was a radio station on his route. So I went in and filled the Coke machine up, and I saw Mother Wit from 103.5. And I said, I was in the break room. I said, who would I have to talk to about, working in radio? She said, baby, go on in there and talk to Joe Hunter and tell him you're looking for a job.
That's Mother Wit.
I went in there and talked to Joe Hunter, and I originally started out being on the street team. So that's what I did. I went in, started on the street team, I used to DJ because I've been DJing ever since high school. But I started out in radio on the street team and did that about a long time. And then when we got the station Power 99, that's when my first introduction came to like on-air radio.
Yeah. What time shift were you on for that station, at that station?
When I first started on Power 99, I was on from 8 to midnight. That was my 8 to midnight was my first. Yeah, that was my first shift was 8 to midnight on Power 99. And then once that, you know how radio flips and gets rid of stations, it flipped. And then they asked me to come on 103.5. We was in the same building. So I went to 103.5, and that's when I had an old school hip hop show from 7 to midnight. And I did that for like 5 years. And then once the Vibe came, the old school hip hop station came, in the same building, I went over to the Vibe and I did the Vibe from 7 to midnight, and I did it from 5 to 7 for the midday.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So that's a total. So for a total, I've been in radio 21
years. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so but you didn't you left out your journey on how you are where you are now, 88.5 SCS. How did you get there?
Well, I got on 88.5. I listened to it all the time. And I had been at Cumulus for like 20 years, and John Best over here at 88, he was at 88. So when he was at 88.5, he was like, man, I'm over here at 88.5. And a position came open. And so when the position came open, I applied for the position, not knowing, I'm thinking it's a Shelby County school station. So yeah, I can do both. Do 103.5 but I didn't do it. I said, look, I love 88.5, what they already stood for as far as being in the community and working with the children. So I went ahead and made that total commitment to 88.5, and I'm glad I did it.
Yes, and we are too, as Memphians, as a community, because at any time I can pop in and I know that I'm going to hear something that I grew up with or that I like, and I'm just like, man, this station wasn't like that when I was over there. but I'm grateful for the change. I'm grateful that you brought that flavor that for me and my age bracket, our taste buds, it meets our taste buds. Yeah.
Right. And that shout out to Brother John, because he has a vision, and he's always about, moving forward, reimagining radio and just giving good, positive music. So we do the best we can.
Yeah. Yeah. What was like, had you not been working at Coca-Cola, had you not put sodas inside of 103.5 that particular day, what was your ultimate goal for life? Like, where were you headed?
I think eventually it would have came back around to radio, but it just would have been a different path. That God he worked that out, because when I got, he did it, and he continued to do it, because one thing about it, before I actually started working, it's funny that the guys that worked at 103, I had saw them earlier in the week before I had filled that Coke machine. I was filling the Coke machine at a car dealership and saw the 103.5 van in there, and they was getting it serviced. And just so happened, when I filled up that machine at 103.5, the guys Joe Hunter called in to give me a job with the same two guys I saw earlier that week. So I was like, man, I just saw y'all at the dealership last week. And he was like, yeah, we was getting the van service. So just to show you how God works.
Yeah.
So I've been here ever since.
Do you have any other bigger plans? Like, would you like to remain in this market? And I know this is a market and it's been good to both of us, but would you like to go to an even greater market? Is that your aspiration?
Well, what I do now, and I was doing it before the pandemic hit. Of course, the pandemic slowed everything down, but I like to do old school events. So I was doing a lot of old school events beforehand. I would take it back to the 80s and 90s artists and give you the 80s, 90s prices. So I did, I think the first show I did was Dana Dane and Spinderella at the Hard Rock. And I think I charged like $10 to get in. I did.
Were they there?
Yeah.
I missed it.
Yep. And then
what happened? I'm all in the camera. Yes. What had happened? I'm like, how did I miss that? I'm serious. Y'all see it?
Yep. That was at the Hard Rock. I did Chubb Rock at the Hard Rock. I did MC Light at the Hard Rock. And actually the night I did MC Light, Michelle A was there.
Oh, so I love her. She's a doll.
Oh, absolutely. So I like to do a lot of old school shows. I really want to get back into doing old school events.
I think you should.
Radio. Yeah, absolutely.
You're at the right station for it.
Right, absolutely. So that's my goal. And of course, I like to mentor the young people that are in music. So I started a show that platforms music for young kids in the city. So people that do music.
When you say a show, and I was going to ask you about that, you're speaking in terms of television now, right?
Right.
All right. So you guys, Kavaunjay has not only is this guy in radio, this guy is multi-talented. Like truly. He's in television now. And when I heard that, I was like, I'm so happy for you. Where are you? Mm-hmm. So please give us those details. Give us that information.
Okay. The name of the show is called 901 All Access. It comes on Cable 19 on Saturdays at 11 a.m. But if you miss it, you can also check it out on YouTube on 901 All Access. And it's on Instagram at 901 All Access. And what it is, it's a video show, but all the videos that you see are from 901 artists. All of them are from Memphis. So when you hear me talking and interviewing artists, the music that you hear in the background are 901 producers. So if you look closely when the video comes up, I not only have the name of the song and the artist, but I put their Instagram on there in case you want to reach out to them. When you hear the music in the background, you will see this track was produced by, and their Instagram will come up. So it's just to give you an outlet a connection to be able to reach out to those people that you hear and you may like, you may want to book them, you may want to collaborate, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then we do all the interviews in Black restaurants, in restaurants around the city. So, yep.
Dude, how long has that been on?
Man, I just aired my second show this past Saturday. The first show was Tyke T. Shout out to Tyke T. And my second show was with Carlos Brody. Everybody knows Carlos from the production that he's done. Yeah. And so yes, and I recorded some more shows too. You're gonna have to wait and see who it is, but it's some good shows coming up, some very good shows coming up. So definitely stay tuned for that.
How does that tie in with your love for old school? And you got some, unless the artists are not the 901 artists, are they old school, or you got a little bit old, a little bit of new here too?
It's just good, clean music. Okay. I'm a music lover at heart. You know, yeah, I'm old school. If there's an old school show 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna be in the building. You know, so but the thing about it, I like to give the feeling that we had, Tina, back in the day when music was. Yeah. You know, you try to give the younger generation that same platform or that same feeling that we had, even though we may not have had the platform, but you back in the day, people don't know, Tina, video waves was the business. Back in the day, that was the business. Because you gave the group that I was working with back in the day, Adagio, an opportunity to be on your show. Yes. So come on, Tina. Don't act like you're a Queen legend. You're a Queen legend out here in these streets. Don't play with it.
Oh Lord. Oh, okay.
Yeah, for real.
Man, I appreciate you. And I sure do remember that group too. I remember.
Right.
Where are they? What are they doing? Are they going to be on 901 Access now?
Well, one unfortunately he passed away. His name was George. The other guys do music, and the lead singer, one of the lead singers is actually a pastor now.
Ah, okay.
So he still does music. So he still does music. So hey, I don't discriminate. You got a good, nice gospel video, it'll get played too. And that's the thing about 901 All Access. It plays R&B, it plays clean rap music, hip hop music, and it's just a balance of good music with good artists.
With so it's saying that, how challenging then is that to find, not just in Memphis, but across the board? Because I'll say, I'm like, come on, guys, I've got a 6-year-old, and I would love to hear your music and play it for her, but I just can't. Mm-hmm. So how challenging is that for you to find those clean 901 videos? It's a challenge.
It's sometimes, well, with the 901 videos, it hasn't been too bad. It hasn't been too hard, but not too bad. You know, it can get a little rough, but not too bad. It's not as bad as it is with mainstream radio. Like, it just seems like a lot of times artists don't make clean music anymore.
No.
And the thing about it, right. So the biggest challenge, I think, is when you're listening to music. Back in the day, you can pretty much say, okay, that R&B song is good, I'm gonna play it, you know. But now you have to listen to the R&B songs because it's cursing in R&B now. And if you're not quick, or if you don't truly pay attention, you could miss something. So now I have to we screen songs very, very close, because you have to screen R&B songs like you screen rap songs now.
Yeah. Well, I got 2 artists that I could think of, so I'll be shooting their emails over to you. So
let's do it.
Take a listen to their videos. Let's talk about a little bit about your personal life now. I like to get personal.
Okay.
So you got a son that looks just like you, guys. Seriously, this guy looks. Is he? Tell me that baby's name, and is he the only one?
My son. Mm-hmm. He has 6 sisters.
By you?
Yeah, but he's my only son. I got 6 girls and I got 1 son. And yep. And man, so he.
What you do with 6 girls, Kavaunjay? No, I'm for real. I'm like, I got 1, and it's like, girl, you'll get somewhere.
Yeah.
Stop talking.
You know, they all grown now. So, but back, what
did you do with them then?
Well, I used to always be told I was harder on them than my son, but I'm gonna be hard on them. But I mean, I'm proud of them. I love my girls. I am so proud of them, and my son. And actually, my son was in music. My son was in music. He actually was in the group before they changed the name. He was in a group called Bluff City, which is the background singers for Jacquees. But he was in that group. But my son decided, my son is a paramedic. So he wanted to get into the medical field. So I support him whatever he wanted to do, whether it was music or not.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's what my son does.
How do they feel then with them being adults now? How do they feel about dad's job? Are they, or maybe even when they were younger growing up, were they embarrassed that dad's like, Lord, my dad is in hip hop. I'm embarrassed.
I was
like, yeah, that's my dad.
I was cool when I was at Power 99 because Power 99 was the hip station.
Right.
Now it's like, dad, that's old school music. It's like that, but they still think I can get tickets to everything. So,
right.
Even though I'm not on a current hip hop station, they think I can get tickets to everything. Can you get tickets to Lil Wayne? I'm like, what?
Right.
So, but I love my kids to death. So yeah, absolutely. They think it's old school, but they still love it though.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Do we have a special woman in our life?
Nah, I'm just out here. I'm so dedicated to what I do. And I know it's a cliche thing, but I'm honestly, when I get in a relationship, I want to be able to put something into it because you don't get nothing out of it if you don't put into it. And right now I just been into what I'm doing. I love what I do. Now, if it happens, what happens. But, I'm not out here, looking and searching.
Yeah. You're not the single ready to mingle look type. I mean, I'm just saying, I know I spoke with somebody and they was like, yeah, I'm single and ready to mingle. I said, okay, listen, they single.
We're going to mingle.
Yeah. Well, speaking of mingling, I know I saw you and I'm so glad that we had an opportunity to reconnect at Al Capone's Memorial Day party
right.
that was held at Rail Garden. And how did you get to be, I guess I already kind of know the answer to that, but how did you get to be the main guy, the main DJ that was on those ones and twos working in that? And it was an amazing part. Y'all, if y'all missed it for real, you missed a really good time because like you said, the music was clean, right. Before the performers got up there, but nonetheless, the music that, I really enjoyed myself. It was my first time out in years, literally.
Wow.
Like everybody was like, Tilton, is that you?
That's how I was. Yeah, what I saw you.
I said, yeah, it's me. I'm out. My baby's 6 now. She can handle herself now with my sister and my husband, of course. But right. I was like, I can get out now. So how did you get that particular gig, though? How do you and Capizzi get together?
Al called me. Me and Al go back. Al is a good friend. And actually, Al and myself was on the same radio station. Al came in for a short stint over at the Vibe. So Al was DJing at the Vibe. So, and I had knew Al off and on back in the day. We just used to see each other and give each other respect. But we really got cool when we started working together at the station. So he had hit me up and he was like, Kavaunjay, I'm doing this. I want you to come on out. This, that, and the other. I said, okay, let's do it. And it was just like that.
Oh, well, you held it down. You held your own for sure. People were just, I'm looking around and I'm like, am I the only one enjoying this? And it was like the crowd was a multicultural crowd.
It was.
You did an amazing job in keeping that balance to where, it wasn't too gutter and it wasn't so whatever, rockish or popish or whatever.
It was a balance. It was a balance, like you said. Appreciate that.
How do you manage to do that? Like what spins in your mind and say, okay, how do you determine the music, especially when you got a crowd like that? That
came from when my dad was a DJ. So back in the day, back in the 80s, there used to be a place in Millington called the E Club. And everybody wanted to go to the E Club back in the day. And the E Club was on the base. And on the naval base, when you're in the military, you got people from all over the world, black, white, Hispanic, whoever, all together. And in that particular, on that particular base, we used to have to do parties at different clubs. and some of the clubs were mixed race. So you had to know different music to play. So for me doing that and learning, say, okay, I need to know just more than R&B. I need to know more than hip hop. I need to know more pop and some of these rock classics.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's better to, if you know that, you can adjust.
Right.
So
right.
I like saying it like, I can't sing.
Yeah,
but if I was a singer or a musician, this is how it would be, basically. So if I see a crowd is a certain way, okay, I can adjust. You know, I got the music to adjust. I have a wide range of music. And if you want to be a DJ that can pretty much do any type of a party, you want to have a wide range of music. Don't be afraid to say, hey, what's the latest music in country, or what's the latest, or just look at the charts.
Yeah.
You know, you can take it as far as you want to take it. So I prefer to have a large scale of music. So that's what I try to do.
Yeah, enough said. Let me ask you this. Can you dance?
What? I'm a beast.
Huh?
Yes.
You can?
What?
I shared with my husband, I said, babe, many on-air radio personalities, we can't dance. We're not dancing.
Wait a minute. Let me
and Millie Mills are the only two I know that are dancers.
before the DJing, I was a dancer. Oh. I come from the turbo ozone break-in era. That was my thing. That was and the people that know me to see this interview will say, yeah, Kavaunjay was the man back in the day.
Good.
Well,
okay, well, we got two on-air personalities that can dance. Other than that, we have a good ear. We can't sing. I told my husband,
back then now. I can do it. I got a good two-step now.
Yeah.
Back then, you know.
Yeah. Please trust me. I don't want you to spin. You ain't gonna hurt your back and then blame it on me. It just allows me to break dance.
Right.
No. Okay, so this segment, before we wrap up, this is where I ask an uncommon question. So my uncommon question for you is, because it has nothing to do with radio, it has nothing to do with that. My uncommon question for you is, when was the last time that you were mischievous and got your tail spanked by your mama? When mama whooped that tail, or daddy, whoever. What did you do, and when did you do that?
Oh my goodness! Probably.
Don't act like you ain't get no whooping. I ain't trying to hear that.
No. I'm gonna tell you when. This is crazy. One time I almost burnt the house down.
You what?
I almost set the house on fire.
Okay, how?
Playing. My mom had some. Back in the day, my mom, people, mothers used to keep their house real nice. She had some, I guess it was like some dried plants, but they was like art.
Okay.
And I was flicking the lighter, and I was flicking, and I would put it out. I would flick it, and I would put it out. And I flicked it, and it caught, and I knocked it on the floor. And my mom had a light colored rug, and I beat it out. And then when I beat it out, it left a black stain on the rug. Yeah. I tried to clean it up. The ones that wasn't burned, I put them back in there. Then I went out back, got the lawnmower, went out there and started cutting the grass. And my dad, when he pulled up, my mom told me later that he said he done did something. He out here cutting the grass, and I ain't telling. And when she came in she called me in the house, she said, what happened here? I said, I don't know. She said, why it smell like smoke? I said, I don't know. She said, so why is my curtains singed up here at the top? I didn't even know the curtains had caught at the top a little bit.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Yeah, that was one to remember right there. My dad told me to pack my bags. He was like, pack your bags, you out of here. He said, I'm finna send you somewhere. I don't know where, but you ain't finna live here. And I was young. I'm like, I'm still in middle school. Where am I going? So, yeah, that was I remember that one.
Oh man, I'm sorry. And of course it's funny being on this side of life.
Right.
When it happens, not funny.
Not funny at all.
Not funny.
Not funny at all.
Oh man. Well, Kavaunjay, give us some shouts, man, because you have been an amazing guest. And any one particular or any persons you would like to do some shout outs to?
I want to shout out to you, Tina, for doing what you do once again. Thank you for asking me to be on here. I want to shout out to all my people at 88.5. Michael Adrian Davis, Brother John, Kathy Hart, just all my friends over here at 88.5, the whole C19, everybody. You know, I appreciate all y'all, man, for the support, for listening to 88.5, my kids for putting up with me, you know, all of that stuff, man. My parents, I appreciate everybody in Memphis who supported me going from station to station, you know, wherever I've been. So I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the city.
Amen to that. And you guys remember to check him out on his new television broadcast on C19. It's called 901 Access. It airs every Saturday at 11 o'clock. Check out my guy, Mr. Kavaunjay. And I'm gonna take
you. I appreciate it. And I'm on Monday through Friday on 88.5 from 10 to 1.
That's right. That's right. Lunch hour. Speaking of lunch, you still want to take? I still might take you up on that lunch hour. Now I'm teasing.
I got you.
Trust me, I don't need lunch. I can skip a meal or two. Thank you, Kavaunjay.